for the start of semester. Thank you, that's all I have.
Thanks very much, Colleen. There's a lot of content there, really interesting conclusions, and I think that'll interest a lot of libraries in looking to do something similar with the Pearson content. Now, we've just got one more little section here where we have just labelled this a Q&A, but nothing too contentious, thanks very much. Lunch is here, as you can see, but I think we owe it to ourselves to give this 10 minutes. And Belinda Nicholson-Guest is going to facilitate this section. Belinda is the team leader in vendor services at the Scholarly Resources Services at Griffith University.
I was just going to give it a quick summary of what was going on. And it struck me from taking the notes and looking at everything that even though content is king, however, there are many differing levels of content. Sometimes you can just have the basic PDF or there's a lot there's different levels of the kind of e-textbooks are there. However, if content is king, access is queen. For the sake of disability access, also the timeliness of access and the whole negotiation process that takes a lot longer than everybody even hopes to think about. Also user expectations, and then the models, the platforms, the licensing and the DRM. There's so many factors that come into play. The one thing I was asking the presenters, any of them and anybody here is, what do you think is the one crucial the game changer? What do you see as being the game changer in the next couple of years, 3 or 4 years? It may be the start of a conversation today. Does anybody from the vendor point of view see any one thing that's going to be the game changer for you?
Publisher models.
Publisher models?
Finding the right model that works for both.
Yep.
It is, ultimately, I don't think we've found the right model in terms of, how to deliver and what you guys want. And getting the content out there is finding the right model. And because it's still fairly new to us in a lot of ways, I'm sure this will play out over the next 18, 24 months or so. Hopefully sooner, but I can see it taking a little while now.
Anyone else?
Just one universal platform. How would we want the microphone? We'll just wait for the
Microphone.
Yeah, it's only online. Usually I have a loud voice.
I was just going to say one universal platform that everyone uses. I mean,
or perhaps more consistency.
Absolutely.
Between the platforms.
Printing, copying, downloading, user access, accessibility for end users.
Maybe
Can it all be
benchmarking?
more streamlined? Can we have some consistent criteria?
Okay.
That's what we battle with.
Okay. And Colleen, did you have?
Just from the affordability point of view, I know that when we were talking with Pearson in the early stages, it was when deregulation of higher education, was again coming on the agenda, and so there's the question of whether that will open up, other ways to fund access to e-content, which will, solve problems for libraries and publishers at the same time.
Yeah, I get the feeling that e-textbooks like a new country, and we're just exploring and we're learning along the way. And I think these kind of opportunities to communicate are terribly important if we want to get to where we all want to be. And we need to have more of a shared vision as time goes along and communicating openly. And I think we as Australians are very, very good, and universities, libraries are very good at saying, hey, have you thought about this? Or could we try this? And I think that open conversation will help other markets see new options as well. That's what I'm hoping anyway. Anyone else? Any single things?
Belinda, do you want to
just ask the people online.
I'll let Martin.
Yeah, I'm just going to make a general statement that for most students, if it's not online, it doesn't exist. We can't get them to borrow free textbooks, so they're going to buy them. We allow them to use Bonus, which has all the books from 13 libraries in Australia, and they hardly borrow much out of that. So, I think anything online is better than anything print.
Okay. Yep. Anybody from out there have any comments, statements to make? No? Shall I hand back to you, Alison, to finish up? Thank you, everybody. I think that this is the start of a conversation, I'm hoping.
Okay, thanks very much. Well, I'd like to, just draw to a close and thank all the presenters. I think I've learned heaps about what's happening out there in the marketplace, and I think there's a lot of possibilities looking into the future for coming up with different models, and I think it goes to show you that if there's some need that libraries have, if we communicate that to publishers, they're not necessarily going to say no. There is some flexibility there, and publishers do want to be able to help meet our needs. So once again, I'd like to say thanks to all the presenters. Thank you for your time, and thanks for you and your questions and your contributions, and lunch is on. Okay.